It's time to get into it for the North American side of things, and we've got MIBR taking on Chaos. And when you'd look on this on paper, most people would be favouring MIBR, but with their recent form and what Chaos have showed us, this match proves to be a banger. And we've got Vendetta back in the hot seat here, taking over for Potter, and Bib, you're still hanging with us either way. Vendetta, how you doing, mate? Been a long day for you?
Yeah, no, it's been a busy day. I'm a little bit sad that we could get rid of Jacob, but it is what it is. I guess we'll just have to just paint ourselves through one more best of three.
Toxic, man. You're so toxic.
I missed both of your faces. I got to say hi and spend some time with Christine earlier today, so I'm happy to catch up with you guys as well.
Well, let's have a look, first of all, at this group, because it is still very much up in the air. When we look at what Liquid has shown us, MIBR are yet to be able to get themselves on the board, and Chaos, they impressed us in the opening game, Pimp. You remember that really well.
Yeah, I do. They were super impressive, and I think, that opens up the group completely. You have a look at it right here. Furia, obviously the big favorites, and I think they're going to go through with a 3-0, right? By the looks of it, they are the best playing team at the moment. Now, who's going to go through with them? Chaos sitting in a good position. MIBR, 0 points. Liquid, 0 points. And Liquid only have 1 game left, and that's going to be against MIBR, if I'm not mistaken. So pressure's already on right now. I think, though, that Chaos, they played a little bit better than what we could expect, right? Liquid obviously didn't have a great day, but Chaos, to expect them to be able to go up against teams like MIBR, Furia, and Liquid, that'll be unreasonable. So if they can pull off another surprise, that'll be, as I said, a big surprise.
And here for MIBR, right, we've seen TRK come in. They're just trying to work things out, still fit him into the same roles that Mayon was playing before. We heard from Taco about all of that. And I think really for MIBR this is the must-win game for them, because otherwise, yes, okay, you've got a new player, things have got to change, but them in general have just not looked good for so long. They need a confidence boost.
Yeah, I mean, this could be it, but then again, I'm not sure how much confidence a win versus Chaos normally should instill in you, right? Like, and I mean, that's not trying to be a slight at Chaos, but and I have a thing. No, but like honestly, MIBR, right? They should be getting confidence from beating the likes of Liquid or Furia and those kind of teams, not necessarily beating down on a team like Chaos. So. Sure, it's a step in the right direction for them, and it's a necessity for them to win today, but they can't necessarily feel all that good about kind of just holding on for dear life.
I think we're at a point, though, where they'll take any victory they can, right? They're literally, it's a team, that I agree with you totally. It shouldn't be them farming confidence against a team like Chaos, a team that is losing players to a game that is not even officially out yet, #Valorant. But it's just the situation right now where MIBR find themselves in a position where they haven't done anything the past, let's say, 6-12 months. They've been showing glimpses of the form that they can have. Fallen is playing good. Taco had a good game last time, but we need to see the entire team come through and win convincingly against a team like Chaos. Then go up against a team like Furia or Liquid for that matter and beat them as well before we can start putting confidence behind this lineup. So at this point, I think they'll take any victory they can, and if they, the first one is coming against Chaos, then they'll probably be happy for that one.
And Fallen has been the man with a master plan for MIBR over and over again. And he showed it even in their game they're losing it. He's just doing everything possible. But we need to see some of these other players get in there. Like Taka had an amazing game on Train that we saw, but it still didn't result in the win coming out there. For Fallen, he's like leading. He's still playing super well. And it's like, where are the other pieces going to pick up? I want to see some more action from KNG like we've seen in the past.
Well, I guess that's kind of the issue, right? With having, it seemed like you get the trade-off. Either Fallen plays well and KNG goes missing, or KNG is put in a position to play well and Fallen goes missing. And it doesn't really seem like they found a way to actually have both players perform at a high level. I mean, we all know that both Fallen and KNG can have a ridiculous impact on the game. I mean, just looking at KNG's spirit with Immortals, for example. But no, I don't. Sometimes you might have to just come to the realization that two play styles or two players just simply don't fit together in a system, and just cut your losses at that point. Because I don't know, I haven't seen enough from them to necessarily, I guess, have hope that it could turn around, which might sound pretty negative or pretty depressing, but that's just the reality of it right now.
Yeah, let's get ourselves into learning a bit more about how MIBR are feeling right now ahead of this game.
Well, I think if we compare with Chaos, I think that we are like better individual players. and I think like we are better as a team as well. So that's why I think we are favorites against them.
What Chaos have an opportunity to catch them off guard and stop
I didn't stud them because I mean like I'm not worried about them, to be honest. I know they're like a good team, but they have like nothing special. They have Steel as a game leader, and we know kind of a little bit how he thinks about the game. So I don't think it's kind of gonna surprise us. This time now they have like a new player. They have Shippa as a new player, and we practice against them, and I think Shippa is a really good player. So I think they're like strong now than they was, but I'm pretty sure that Falling will come with a good plan for us against Chaos, and I think we're gonna do great against them.
Now, I liked what we were hearing there, right? They're well aware of what the changes have gone on in Chaos, and the fact is, yes, they've beaten before, but this is a very different Chaos, and it's nice to hear that MIBR are going to give them the respect, right? You don't want them to go to bed in a situation where they allow too much space for Chaos to walk away with some victory.
No, they need to give Chaos respect. I think they deserve that after the performance they put up against Team Liquid. Now, MIBR, the problem I have with them, right? I love the players on the lineup. You two were talking about the Helvo. Guys like Fallen, Taco Fur. It's impossible not to love those guys. They are super, super good at Counter-Strike, and they're legends of the game. But look at the history MIBR is having for bringing in new talent. I would say it's a team right now that brings in promising talent just to let them die. You know, basically that's the way it is. You brought in Phelps, one of the most promising stars within that area of Counter-Strike. Gone to complete shit, let's be honest. He's nowhere to be found at the moment. KNG coming to the lineup as well. He was playing so well before MIBR. He's just an average player, I feel like, in MIBR right now. Mayan, maybe he's a bad example, but coming into MIBR, he was such a promising talent. Never got to show it in MIBR. Lucas is another example. He was so good in his period in Immortals coming into MIBR. Just an average player. It's like they don't find a way to facilitate the new talent they bring in. If I'm TRK, I'm shaking my ass right now in the sense of, am I not getting the space I need in order to actually fulfill the role that I'm getting assigned? Do I not get the space in order to show the world how good I am? Because if that's the case, you can be as good as you want to, but if you're not giving the space, you're not giving the trust by the team, there's no way you will be, you know, a great player in that one. So MIBR, they need to look at that. They need to facilitate the new players they bring in. Otherwise, it's going to be the same story over and over again.
They may need to change up the system, but we're going to change up who we're talking about and look forward at what Chaos have been able to deliver. Because this team, yes, they impressed us against Liquid, and Steel had not beaten Liquid in so long. I think the stat line was something like since 2014 or 15 that he'd even won a game against Liquid of any of his lineups. And he's got Zeppa, who impressed us. It was incredible. This guy stepped up beyond belief against a team like Liquid and wasn't even scared of taking the peaks, taking the shots and hitting the shots every time. And then Jonji had an incredible map as well. And it seems like Steel's been able to utilize these pieces of raw fraggers behind some tactical prowess. He must be one of the best, if not the best, in-game leader in North America at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily too far of a reach either. I mean, Steel's always had that ability to get the most out of his ragtag, I guess, group of players, right? Like, who would have expected Zeppa to, you know, basically dominate Team Liquid for the better part of his series, just pretty much more or less coming directly out of what, MDL as his previously highest level of competition. Like that doesn't happen necessarily all too easy. And I guess now the route is obviously for Steel to find a way to be able to get stable and consistent performances out of a potential talent like Zeppa. But you know, that's going to be the really tough part as well. But if there's anyone in NA who could probably do it, it would be Steel.
It definitely wouldn't. It also looks like he's been taking Launder's haircut advices in that picture we just had up going on there. You can see there's a bit of an odd one going on. We'll have to have a word with Launders to maybe improve his haircut styling on these guys. But what we should have a look at is what Chaos are thinking ahead of this, because they must be riding high on confidence.
The only way to really beat MIBR is be playing. Everyone needs to be hitting their shots because just of how they play. They're in your face. If you're not getting the kills, they're just going to overwhelm you, and it's not going to end well.
This could be that's another remedy too, yeah, for sure. Especially you get a dry pick like this, no utility to respond, a great nade on the fallback, so much.
I haven't played them very much in my career. I've played them once on LAN, we beat them, and then we played them again online and lost. So, I mean, we just got our full lineup, and we started practice last week, so we're not going into super high expectations, but I mean, we expect to put up a fight.
He's mollied off for the moment, but voltage, he also importantly, Jonji's locking down long. He's got that op shot off. incredible round from Voltage. Excellently done.
I mean, the only way to beat MIBR is deathmatch like 6 hours with the day before and day of. You can't miss.
Well, you see it there from Chaos. They know what to be scared of when it comes against the likes of MIBR, but I think they also know they can battle back in the same style at the moment as well. I think that's what's most impressive about this lineup, because when I first looked at it and you first thought about them going up against Liquid, you probably would have never have said that.
But Steel loves that role, right? Steel is the type of guy, when he's being played as the underdog, when he's being played as a villain, that's when he shines. So the fact that he's playing in Chaos right now with some talents, you know, that nobody has heard about, you know, at least not in the top tier Counter-Strike scene, then that's where he thrives. That's where Steel loves to be. He loves to play the underdog role, and he loves to take it to the big teams and do them dirty. So I think Steel is in a position right now where he would not be anywhere else, right? With his career, with the talent he has around him, I think that he loves to be in the underdog role, and I think Steel thrives better than anyone playing that underdog role as well.
He can still frag out as well.
Yeah, no, he definitely can. He's always been a really solid individual player. Who probably more often than not takes the backseat to allow for his teammates to shine. I'm assuming that we would have gotten a little bit of a different answer if we spoke to Josh, considering how they're going to go about beating MIBR. Then, you know, we need to hit our shots. But I mean, at least they know that they can obviously go in there and deliver a lackluster performance, because MIBR, even, you know, with falling from grace and having a lackluster form and so on, and also going through roster changes, they're still coming into this as pretty clear favorites, and that's really something you can't brush away too easily.
Now we're going to take a look at the veto, and the thing here is still with Chaos, it's much of the unknown. They can kind of pick into what they want, where MIBR maybe a bit more clear cut on where we'll decide to go on it all.
Oh, Mirage and Dust 2. I'd say that's two of...
Getting scrappy.
Yeah, it could be scrappy, right? It's two of the maps that can be played in a very fast pace. I think both teams get to decide whether they want to do that or not. Mirage, you can take it slow if you want to. Same goes on for Dust 2. You can take it slow if you want to, but it seems like the majority of the teams want to pick up the pace when you're playing maps like that. So I think we're heading in for a very fast and potentially very, you know, I'd say scrappy Counter-Strike match, but those are usually the most fun to watch. And I think MIBR and both Chaos, you know, would like that at the moment. There's a lot of talent on the server. There's a lot of aim on the server. So Mirage and Dust 2, it bounds well, potentially for Inferno being the third.
Yeah, I mean, I looking at the maps, I don't really think MIBR could be unhappy about how this kind of came about. True. If anything, they would have liked to have Overpass as an opportunity for, or as a possibility for a third map. But outside of that, I think I'd actually favor them on all three maps. And again, this kind of speaks to it as well. The fact that 3 of the maps that we're seeing them going into is actually the 3 highest win rates that they have as well. And that kind of speaks volumes considering how poorly they have performed up to this point as well. So, you know, they're actually getting to the few spots where they're actually able to win games.
And for Chaos, right, they may be thinking, okay, we're going to try and take the heads-up fight to MIBR, but I think like what you were saying there, Pimp, it's going to be a lot about who can control the pace of the game, and that's going to be the one that kind of be able to strive and push further ahead in it. But from what you've seen and what we've been talking about, guys, and we'll start with you, Vendetta, who do you think has the best chance to take this series? Who are you going for, mate? I
mean, I can't look away from MIBR. Again, like they have to win this game, and I think they should as well. Even with the new player and everything, I think they will have had a little bit more time to adjust. Obviously, they started off with a game versus Furia, so that's a pretty tough task. So yeah, I'm gonna go with MIBR here, actually 2-0.
Yeah,
which way you going?
Yeah, I think MIBR should be winning. I think Vendetta's spot on when he's saying that they have to win, right? There's no way around it. I find comfort in the fact that Taco said that the practice is going well. It seems to me like they're actually building up some confidence despite losing the other day. Chaos is a team that can make chaos, and I wouldn't rule out a third map. And again, it's going to be a scrappy game. It's going to be a fun game to watch, so people should definitely sit down and enjoy it. It's going to be a good match.
Well, I'm going all the way on the Chaos train because we got 2 Canadians commentating, a bunch of Canadians in the server, and we saw what happened last time to Liquid. But for everyone at home, it's time for you guys to make your choice as well. Using the Twitch chat, you can vote in it as well. But Bruce May just said no, so maybe we're not going that way. So I guess we're just going to go straight to a break with it all and then come back into the game with Scrawny and Launders.
I'm ready to fall. 'Cause I know you'll pull me up. 'Cause I know you'll pull me up. So catch me and don't let go. Now I feel invincible. And I know that I'm risking it all. And we're just gonna fall. Ready to fall. Take a chance, a small spark could light the way to your salvation. The time is now, so don't look back to finally leave the situation.
DreamHack Masters Spring 2020 takes a shift from the European region over to North America, where we have ourselves one hell of a game. I mean, who would have imagined Chaos, already with a win over top of Liquid, have a wounded MIBR ahead of them? And if Chaos can pick up this match victory, Mohan, then suddenly we have Furia and Chaos in a best-of-3 decider who sees which team goes straight to the playoffs. It's exciting stuff, and it all starts now. We are one step closer to the first map. What do you make of the veto here? I mean, Mirage, Dust 2 to kick things off, and then, of course, Inferno if we need the decider.
I mostly focused on the bans, you know, I was like, you know, avoiding train and avoiding overpass and stuff. I think it makes sense for MIBR, but it also makes sense for Chaos. Or sorry, I mean, the bans make more sense for Chaos because they don't have to play a map like Train or something else. So I think I'm okay with it. I think just like Ben said on the desk, like, why would you be upset with this if you were MIBR? And in general, they're probably favored on all maps, so it's not really a big deal for them. What Chaos need to focus on is making sure they just don't have any maps that are like a given that they'll lose. And with Mirage and Dust 2, you know, they don't have that. So we'll see. Pimp said TRK needs to shake his ass to try to get some space. And what's TRK with vowels? Twerk.
Tarek.
So I think he has a strong point.
My answer worked too, but hey, let's move along. Move along into the pistol, baby. Listen, man, we've got the DreamHackPick'ems.com challenge going on. I don't mean to brag, but I'm gonna brag. Currently standing in the top 50 of 2,000 entries is me. And I have Chaos winning this match. So if you guys want to get in on the prizes, now's your chance. This map, however, already underway, but you can still participate. Make up that ground.
Don't let this kid steal your processors.
Yeah, I'm coming for your monsters. Here's Fur trying to grab another kill. He's desperately spinning. John G's, gonna be upset with that one. Couldn't even get a single kill here off of the connector. So 5 members of MIBR still standing until I say that. Hello. Both Vanity and Zeppa picking up a kill apiece. I mean, Zeppa's in the marketplace. He's really thrown a wrench into this backline. MIBR, they've got to be careful. They're separate. They're disengaged. And if anything, Chaos are closer to one another. Zeppa, do you really want to push the issue here? You have a teammate inbound, and instead he goes for his own duel. Okay, we have to talk about Zeppa. We can get back to the inclusion of TRK whenever we want, but Zeppa, the newest addition to Chaos alongside Jonji, the least experienced by far addition to Chaos, and he has come into this pistol with a absolute blunder. I mean, 3 kills for him, but more importantly, what, a 2v5?
Yeah, I don't even know, man. That was like so ugly up until that point too. It looked like there was just a ton of whiffs in general from both sides. Like that Fur and Jonji duel and connector, we don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah,
and
no,
unfortunately, that's part of the result. But either way, Fur wins it. You know, MIBR come out ahead. It looked good, and then they pull out the 2v5 off the lurk. And, you know, Zeppa plays without fear. So I think, you know, like Vanity said, you have to beat MIBR, you have to DM 6 hours the night before and then 6 hours the day of. Maybe Zeppa took his advice. We always know Zeppa is always on point, and I think just like Banks pointed out, he was played, what, 1 season of MDL, and then suddenly comes into Invite and schools Liquid. This guy is the truth, at least so far, at least online, but that's all that's going to matter right now. So we'll continue to watch and see if Zeppa can continue these amazing performances versus good teams, because he was doing well to get picked up, and now he's also doing well versus the teams people are wondering, can he play well against?
Of course. I mean, Vanity said it in that same interview. He's only played against MIBR once, and Zeppa, inexperienced against all these opponents. But Tacos 5-7, that's a deadly pop-off from the corner, gets 2 players down, and Jonji, well, he's already low health, so he has to be cautious. Fallen looms near. And Fallen, speaking of individual form, has been on point lately. A master of the scoped weaponry. He's chilling on that back market. Vanity, unorthodox smoke to block off the window. Ooh,
nice.
Hits the blind side on the back door, deals a little bit of damage to Fallen, but also takes some in return. So Fur, if he can manage that long-range MP9, and he is a connoisseur of the MP9 after all, they have a chance in this one. But it seems like Chaos are going to skate away with their second round. 3 players surviving, all with rifles, but barely. They'll have to count their lucky stars and go ahead and keep trying to trudge along to the 3-0 start.
Yeah, the most they got was the 5-7 2K, but that made things very, very tumultuous for Chaos. Small correction, Vanity said they played once online and once on LAN as well. Oh. And they beat them once on LAN and they lost online. So he said it was kind of hard to tell how good they were versus them because of that, I guess. So this will be officially their 3rd match, their 2nd time on LAN, or online, excuse me. And probably they'll be able to figure out exactly how good they are and how consistent they are versus MIBR. RRR.
Thank you for clearing that up. I would hate to be spreading misinformation.
Who would go on the internet and tell lies?
Madmen. Just like those who are trying to charge. Get cracked. Taco, he's underneath the palace. Just that Deagle already starting to lose his teammates nearby. But hey, what's left of MIBR is still in position. Zeppa's teasing him, just showing him the tip of that barrel. And then he comes to wide with a double headshot bomb plant on top of it. 6-1 start for Zeppa, 3-0 start for for Chaos.
Let's keep it rolling. 231 ADR, and I don't see this train stopping. This guy is amazing. He's flowing. He's got hair that's flowing. He's going nuts, and he starts off strong. He ends strong. I mean, there's no reason not to ride the hype, honestly. He's a player that's pretty much brand new, but he's like not giving us any reason to doubt him. He plays with conviction. He plays quickly, decisively. It's fun to watch, and he's rifling. We need more great riflers.
Everybody thought Bleh had the best flowing locks here at DreamHack Masters.
Whoa. I think we're gonna. He's got that beautiful Indian hair, okay? Zeppa's up there, but.
Fur, wide swing. Good aggression out of the connector here to try and vie for that top mid control, but Steel, he's trying to crack open the B bomb site. He's got the bomb just behind him. 2 CTs now, 1 beneath. It is just Taco solo. He sees the shadows, but can't maintain that 3-player push. So the bomb's down on B yet again, and Zeppa, tucked to the top of mid, sees a man in the open, grabs another kill, and starts cutting off these rotates before they even get close. He dodges shots from the window, and down he goes. TRK, gonna get something for MIBR.
Maybe he's not so good after all. That's pathetic. 3-on-2. They fall back for the save. Nice round for Chaos. Easy 4-0 start. Fnatic B is the formula. They saw Steel was the one to kind of push up, played it a lot like Olaf Meister in one sense, getting to the end of B halls really quickly in between grenades, sometimes taking a bit of damage, but trying to scare the B players into making some false move, throwing too much utility, holding a rotate somewhere, whether or not they used B. And now they kind of do the same thing. We don't know if that's going to continue to be a part of the makeup of their T side on Mirage, but we have seen him do this quite often on T side Mirage in the past. The buy isn't incredibly healthy here for MIBR. They spend down to 0. They've got a couple of Falmuses. They have kits. Actually, not bad. But you know, half armor on 3 players, slight compromises on grenades, and of course a couple of Falmuses, which is not a sign of opulence or health.
Uh-oh. KNG just got into position and then he gets burned out. Can't keep Jonji from smack-10ing down into the bomb site, but he does deny him any sort of success. KNG fumbling his grenades as Taco's still up on this arch side. And, well, he's got cover behind Pillar. He's also got teammates aplenty. Fallen close. Hits the shot onto Steel. That's a slick flick up, but there's so much pressure being applied to this bomb site. Still, he comes out unscathed. And things slow down now. Chaos. Man disadvantage, bombs near sight, but look at this lineup from MIBR.
Yeah, they're all kind of being useful, supporting each other, tradable positions, spotting angles, and they allowed Fallen to escape.
Fake plant attempt. Voltage, if he peeks all the way around, then that op is honing in on him. Just planted beneath the apartments, but there's nobody in apps for the post plant. Fur trying to clothesline these 2 Ts.
I wonder
his duo of teammates are going to come out in a second. What do you wonder? I wonder whether Vanity can do anything now because he's 13 health and that's that.
They perform the long con rotate, and there's obviously Fur, who gets one of the kills defending the site, ends up coming off the cat to flank slowly. I think MIBR played the setup really well with the man advantage. Again, everybody covering all spots, and because they maintain their positions at MT behind the site with the op, holding down angles, it was Chaos who were afraid to move off the default plant positions, and that's why they get sprayed down in this exact area. So MIBR are able to have their cake and eat it too, falling back, getting better spots, maintaining man advantage, keeping the op alive. It really squeezed Chaos's kind of hopes out, and now we get to move into a round where they'll have a much better buy with the upgraded guns. Still a little bit low on a couple pieces of utility, but have at least kept Chaos's economy a bit more honest. You feel me?
Ooh, Fur, he sees it. I feel you, bud.
Oh, ow.
Oh, Fur feels it too. More than one shot comes skimming through the side of the column.
Fur's just like, I'm a head out now. Didn't even no spam back. I'm done with this. Let's try again next round.
Somebody watch mid, would you?
Yeah.
But nobody will. They go ahead and forego control of the window still. Jonji trying to get eyes up on Cat. Someone's about to walk in. KNG just on the other side. A little too close for my comfort. KNG walks back. He's blinded. Gets behind cover. Man, I don't know if he realizes he has been on the brink of death more than once this round. But Steel is not hiding his movement, making a bit of a racket here inside of the apartments. He is very much alone, so the more rotates he draws over is perfect, and he's doing exactly that, especially by tagging down Taco. Fallen's going to have to commit for a moment, but even Fallen has wind of what's going on, and TRK, by surprise out from Sandwich, taking down a couple of bodies, and KNG clotheslines it off of Cat. 2 kills apiece, and a solid hold from MIBR.
I actually love the attack by Chaos, but amazing round from TRK. He's in a bad spot to defend against Connector and has to take action quickly. You know, immediately takes down his first threat. The Palace guy can pin him down without exposing himself to any angle, he has to absolutely win that fight. And then his second one, when they know where he is even more impressive. So after that, his teammates can start to help him. KNG gets the frag from Cat to the A site, and things get a bit easier for MIBR, but it comes down to TRK holding it down by himself on the A site. Could have totally died there, and no one would have batted him eyelash, who's definitely in a very unfavorable spot. Got bumper cars in the T-spawn. Trying to figure out what spots to go to.
No, you first.
Yeah, I mean, it's Canadians, so someone's insisting.
Speaking of Canadians, both of them for Chaos holding these AKs. You know, I'm a little insulted that the desk thought we would be so biased based on our citizenship that I would choose Chaos to win this. I mean, I did choose Chaos to win this, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I'm down to be insulted. Yeah, screw it. I'm insulted too.
You want to get angry at the internet?
Absurd. Yeah, yell into the void. Well, 2 rifles leading the charge, which is not a bad setup to go towards B. Rifler in the back, though, from MIBR to take attention away from KNG. He should be able to do a lot better now, especially if his teammate doesn't end up dying. Oh, but he is here to fight. Wow, actually. Wow, they do a good job of making sure that angle is clear as well. And wow, not a single player on the hold. It's actually TRK, who was an A-site player last round, now on Cat, holding this down for them.
He's trying to. He is still back at that distance, and Steel's AK succeeds. Now everybody for Chaos with their hands on the Kalashnikovs. And oops. I mean, I thought just like you did that KNG being in the corner was going to succeed because Taco had drawn that attention, but KNG just gets blasted by Vanity's Deagle, and the entirety of Chaos just opened the floodgates, take control of that B site, and that's a 5th round for Chaos coming off of the 2 AK buy. That's a huge bolster to their score count and a good way to shift their momentum back really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Vanity for clearing it properly. I think KNG, maybe if he had a more depressed angle, like more tucked in, they maybe would have half-assed cleared him. I was wondering if Taco was going to try to fall back as opposed to fight again, but I think he wanted to try to lure them forward. But yeah, it's hard to say. I wouldn't say that Taco played it incorrectly because I'm not sure what the response would have been if he fell off. Like, would they have still gone slowly? Would KNG just have been left to hung out to dry? But in that situation, if one dies, both of them die, and that made it a lot harder. But yeah, I think it's really just, Vanity just being super aware of potential other threats more than anything else that's helped them win. Either way, Chaos win a very unlikely round there. 2 rifles and 3 pistols. And MIBR, even after having a couple of very good setups, down 2-5. And honestly, man, it feels like that is the story for MIBR. Fallen was talking about how people don't understand how much they've been practicing and playing and the strats and stuff like that. And I feel like that actually shows. But they seriously just are not hitting shots sometimes.
Ouch. Fallen gets that one. Poor John G. Deleted for good catch as they try to run boost one over. So Zeppa's shaved down to 48 HP, and Fur, he's gonna flirt with this smoke. A flash in the face as players go past, but he holds his trigger. There's the first one versus Zeppa. Steel just on the other side, and a great 2K from Fur to take control of the situation. They thought they had a little real estate and connector, but no siree. Fur, delivery.
Yeah, no free real estate for them. Yeah, and I bring that up. Fallen has actually, played well in the previous series. Fur somehow, even through MIBR's worst period, was playing out of his mind, even with a freaking broken arm. But I think, as is brought up, KNG, I feel like, I think Pimp brought this up, has been kind of average. And it's kind of like, how? He seriously was felt like he was going to be one of the best Brazilian players of all time, but in this roster, just feels like he punches above average, but not excellent and not consistently. And then, of course, they've got the TRK problem of he's new, so he's going to need time. And Taco plays his role, does his job. His job has not changed or evolved much, since he got picked up again or before when he was playing on the team before. He just fulfills this role that most other people in the world do not want to play, and does it well so that his teammates can shine. Free Steel, Fallen, and Fur/Taco has won more majors than all 5 players of Chaos have played at. Wouldn't say that's a surprise.
Nope.
Most of us didn't know who 4 or 5 of these players were until before DreamHack Masters and maybe the formation of Chaos. But
Zeppa's never even attended a professional LAN.
No, we don't even know if he's left the house.
We don't even know if that's what he really looks like. Fallen misses the jump, but still works out with the pick. Good job finding Steel, but he's in a really pressured position. Good thing he put that smoke over towards the apps. Fallen's coming back. He wants more with the op, and KNG's here to lend a helping hand, and it works out well. 5 versus 2 very swiftly into this 9th round. We're at that minute half mark, and Jonji and Vanity are trying to clamber back in a 2v5. So hot damn, MIBR picking up the pace. And as we saw again with that pregame interview with Vanity, this is what they have to expect. It's about mounting some sort of a hold versus the aggression MIBR will set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, these guys are not even as crazy as Furia. Here it is like a nice play out into underpass for Fallen. He's willing to take that risk. He drops the smoke deep. It could get pushed as well. The thing is, though, Fallen does not ever wait on a basic angle and hope someone runs into it. He goes out a bit farther. He takes a bit more of a risk. And like that was a bit of a risk. But they only have pistols, so more so reason to take bigger risks. But 4 players from Chaos die out at mid that round. Trying to run down. That's a feat for the CTs to be able to pull off.
They are still so spread thin. It's a good time to bring up a tweet, I would say, from Thorin, who a couple of hours ago said, Chaos beating Liquid in a best of 3 suggests Steel is 10 levels above most NA IGLs. Or Liquid has some fundamental problems that go way deeper than, quote, just having a bad day. I would like to think it's all about Steel. I think that he has have that proven ability to elevate newcomers to the scene. Obviously, when they're equipped with pistols, it's an easy one for MIBR, and Fur pops off with 4. 13-3 out the gate. We've talked about MIBR and how the departure of Coldzera was always a huge hole to fill in terms of firepower, but that Fur should be one of the shoulders you can lean on.
Yeah.
And this map, in specific, already off to a flying start.
Yeah. Only new kids don't know that Steel can elevate a team of people you've never heard of to being ready to take down teams internationally on LAN and upset them. And that's definitely not true for many other IGLs. So it's a good stoppage here on the B site finally. Defend against the hemorrhaging that is this kind of very aggressive Fnatic-style B-side attack. And sometimes it is just a default, but it's aggressive default through utility into the end of B halls. But now they don't really have the chance to do that. Jonji's at risk on the op, and they've decided to move back to A. I think this is a sensible rotation. They don't have any Molotovs for under Balk, but there isn't anyone under Balk to worry about. Still means that they're going to have to spend attention clearing it, but a full smoke execute could be just what they need. MIBR still seem tentatively worried about B and the threat of Cat, but it's all about A right now.
We'll see how Fur decides to respond. Still just holding off on default. Looking to cut them down once they exit from ramp, but Fallen sort of doing the same thing here with the op. Misses his first shot, and that's going to draw Fur into action. The bomb is brought over to Sandwich by Voltage, and that's going to slow down the play somewhat, except Zeppa very quickly retrieves it. Now, actually, he's going to go for the kill. A big headshot to take versus TRK. So can KNG get the clutch off? It's a 1v2. Bomb planted, and he's got his first chance. It's a quick trade from Zeppa, and he is now 12-7, 11 rounds deep in this first half. Chaos still leading by 1. That score, 6-5.
Literally zero hesitation on trying to get the trade in. CT spawn is what nets him the kill. You know, that guy can go so deep to the point that now he's crossing in front of Connector, but if Zeppa peeks out soon enough, he can catch him before he gets on top of the garbage can and allow them to get the plant and the 2v1 situation. So another situation where low hesitancy is the reason they win. Fallen, it's over 9,000. Fallen has more career op kills than all 5 members of Chaos have AK-47 kills put together. What the hell?
That's big one.
Amazing for a number of reasons. All 5.
All 5.
All 5.
The grandfather.
I mean,
of
Skill's a
Counter-Strike.
boomer. Fallen's a boomer. 4 other Zoomers, yeah, but still, that's crazy.
Keep it up, AZS.
Plus, it's op versus AK.
Actually, cool it off. You're getting Mohan too excited. He's gonna lose his head. We're only 12 rounds deep in this series, and oh man, we've got a lot to shout about because Jonji and Vanity just tear through this defense. Wall of smoke's up, meant to hold them back, and I don't think Chaos got the memo. They just charged straight through enemy lines. Taco, he could find great timing on the peak, finds a little bit of damage in the man in the back, but neither one is fragged. So 4v2 and KNG with far more health than Fur. They're going to try to retreat from the gunfight and let this round slide. That's Chaos to 7 as MIBR trail by 2.
I love the speed. I mean, just aesthetically, I appreciate rounds that go fast like that. It's fun to watch. And then on couple that with the fact that they made it work. Also, freaking crazy fast entry there from Jonji. TRK didn't know what hit him. They had no time to set up on the site for how fast they moved. We could see from this aerial perspective, you know, one man at triple is going to be within the smoke executes on the site and pretty much just has to hold. He's not going to be able to fall back if anyone comes out of Palace. So he had a lot on his plate and he barely got to nibble on it.
Couple of smokes quickly over mid, and you see the conga line of Chaos members. Uh-oh, a missed smoke on window. Steel's gonna have to crack the whip, get that problem solved quickly. Zeppa's trying to spam through the connector smoke. They've got to be cautious because there are those deadly odds of KNG peeking off Cat, but it's actually Fur who tries to take a step forward. And Voltage now honing in for the shoulder peek. Careful, KNG. The op's ready to slap him back, and all the while, Steel, he's still trying to keep his attention over towards the apartments. He's been such a nuisance here, Launders, with the consistency of this presence. He's normally alone in it, but never lets them just let their guard down on B.
Yeah, he's kind of using this as like a squeaky door, but it's even less safe. It's actually a very dangerous spot to be just for nades and the number of angles they can peek you from. So takes a lot of cojones to play up in the B halls by yourself. And we can see why. It's very difficult to entry out of. They do make a bit of presence towards B, get some damage in, get a couple of name tags, but the value of that information is starting to expire as Chaos now start to regroup in the B halls. After some time has passed, they'll have to entertain the thought of the MIBR members being in different angles.
What's left of Chaos is grouped up nicely, but one does fall down. So audio cues confirmed. Taco gonna get burned into the open at the very least. He does still have a teammate, or had. KNG one and done, and Taco looks to lock down the line. Now, I understand why they commit to the B site. Steel had called for them to come over, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but Josh was a little unlucky there when he came out from the apartments. He had seen somebody jump back into the market window, and so he thought he caught timing on a 1v1, but as he emerged, you see this double peek right there from Taco. Steel had both players on his screen. Had he been a little further out, he would have cut one off. Had he not gotten that far for free, then he would have isolated 1v1s. A little unfortunate, but hell, MIBR will happily take that one. I don't blame them. Look at what Chaos have to work with now.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I think that's like one of the many reasons that it's so hard to actually make like competent play out of B halls, and why it's so scary to do it. The information, it's basically a one-way street. I feel like the guys on B site have 90% of the information, unless you're literally crouch under the window and walk over to the one part. But then you're locked in, and you have to expose yourself constantly to gain any information yourself. It's like a 90-10 split for the CTs versus Ts. So, but yeah, like the fact that they have someone who's willing to do it and try it is what makes it really scary. It's like a unique presence that other teams aren't really doing that much, honestly. No, on this okay, great deagle shot there from Vanity, and he knows that one more is in CT. Obviously, that's not much of a surprise.
No, but
TRK, what can he do from here?
Alone and isolated. Had they come out just a few seconds sooner, then maybe they could get this kill, but now he has teammates. Great bomb plant still for Chaos, going for the front side of default. You know, all things considered, they'll take that. If they can find a couple of kills with it, perfect. But as they try to retreat into safety, TRK has had enough. And he cleans up shop as the defuse easily comes through. MIBR tying at 7, but I mean, this has still been a successful T side. It's just looking like MIBR are getting their legs beneath them now. One more round to decide who will have the lead before we swap sides. But damn, we've had a good game on our hands.
I agree. It's been very back and forth, and honestly, Chaos's T side on Mirage looked great the other day versus Liquid. Like straight up looked great from their perspective, and it looks like they're doing a lot of the same stuff. I feel like they're keeping the tempos very different. They've entertained both sites evenly. They've done a lot of mid control, and they're doing great on the entries. So there's a lot of good things to say about their T side. But at the same time, like you're saying, MIBR's ability to maintain despite all that.
Not showing anything elsewhere. I mean, to be fair, not showing anything at all, but there is just an entire collection of Chaos players here inside the apps. I'm all for it. Gonna try to flood past this hold, an aggressive stance from KNG, and a teammate tucked in. So he's gotten his second kill, and he draws them inwards. One does fall beneath, but luckily Taco's here, and he does his job well, picking up the first kill and doing so much damage that the rotates over should finish this all off. Voltage, 14 HP, and 3 CTs ahead. And they're not wasting any time. They get up close and personal. Fur body bags him. 19-5 is Fur at the end of this first half. Folks, catch your breath, and we'll be back after the break.
Still to come, but there will only be the one with your special mystique. Just tell anyone who asks, you're unique, you're unique. There will never, ever be anyone like you. There will never, ever be anyone like you. There will never. History, mother's, father's destiny written in your blood. Every single molecule knows that it's a part of you, growing from a seed of love. Only you know what you are, pieces of a falling star, water from above, driven by a pumping heart. That's enough, that's enough. There will never
8-7 the score, and we've had ourselves an action-packed beginning to this BO3. Of course, we are on Chaos's map choice, and they are switching over to the CT side. But my big question is, can they handle Fur and KNG? 19 and 13 frags apiece. Those have been the two most successful members of MIBR, and I don't think they're going to slow down.
That's an incredible half from Fur, for sure. And yeah, KNG and Taco, towards the end of that, figured out the B-side stuff, which, to be honest, it wasn't easy. Like, Chaos were putting so much pressure there. I'm not surprised their setups failed a couple of times, but it looks like at the end of the day, they did pretty well overall. Oh,
Whoa.
that was definitely heard.
Should have been.
Oh yeah, he knows. Yeah,
you get out. I like that. Steel's like, somebody's got a flash, right? Please now. You'll be able to just set up inside of the window. And honestly, I like this more. He can still flirt with the depths of the apps, but he's not pinned into the corner, so an easy drop off if he has to.
It's nice.
And
he's being very careful not to fall off. And also avoid all damage.
Oh. However, patience.
Nice. They're still not falling off. That's good. They're trying to scare him out.
Goes in for the peek and hits the gush. Jonji with the flashbangs, good for the one. Now Vanity gets a headshot of his own after the flash assist connects, and Steel, he's just gonna buy time by hiding in the corner. Vanity, if he could stay alive right now, that'd be huge, because someone's gonna do this. Make a mistake in front of Steel. And he peeks wide, taps the bomb planter, second execution, and the third he can't handle, but his teammates are there to close shop.
Just beautiful. I mean, it looks scary because he's got to follow these heads. They don't really want to waste any time shooting the wrong person. They forgot about him because there was 3 on the site. The setup called for a read that MIBR were going to go B. Pretty simple. Like, once the guy was empty pillar, they thought that's probably the guy who was peeking in window. They didn't know it wasn't Steel, so they didn't even bother clearing the van or looking for him, because that's basically the only place he could have been. So it's the setup that wins the round, really. Obviously, Steel, getting half a gush off, Jonji getting a kill, all very important things. And they didn't have many chances to do it.
That was ready. The Palace Flood works out in the sense that they do get boots on the ground, but they most certainly don't win the round. 4 survivors for Chaos. They get back into the lead, 9-8 to the favor of the CTs. And here we have it, MIBR's first bye.
Yeah, really nice defense there to stop the bomb plant. Changes it up a little bit. Look at the there's compromises in utility in this very round because they don't get that bomb plant. So that's very nice. They denied 2 bomb plants that came very close so far. And it's affected the economy. 2 dropping underpass. This is a awesome boost. Yeah. Listen, they spot for information. They've got to be worried. They're going to be a bit concerned about a lurk, but yeah. Because without anyone defending mid-control from connector, if this setup gets compromised, Fur does not have to commit hard to scare them into moving into the mid piece.
Oh, but it's so hard to actually hit this shot versus Jonji unless you get real close. Jonji's been skimmed a couple of times, and now that they're making these footsteps away, Fur activates. Awesome timing coming out of underpass. Gets themselves the 5 versus 3. I mean, they knew something was going on, and they had an inkling it was close. But it was the audio cues and the panic that finally set in for Chaos. They were comfortable at the start of that, but the longer it went on, the harder it was going to be to get out. Scout from Voltage, making at least a bit of damage over here towards the B site, but he gets dunked on by the nade and blown away by Fallen. So Fur, really the catalyst of this round. He has 22 kills, 7 deaths.
Yeah, it's a very clean scoreline. Yeah, continues to be impressive. That was so nicely done, and they smelt something going on, but Fur got close enough to hear. And once he saw that they were scared of the spam and running, he just saw that as an opportunity to rack up the ADR. Didn't even have to call upon his teammates top mid. He was able to scare them. And that setup is scary because maybe they look to underpass if there's no spam and just defend that way, go for some kind of push towards underpass. But the longer that setup goes without getting a kill or even shooting a bullet, the scarier it gets for the CTs more than the Ts, because you're behind enemy lines now. You're in untradeable spots, and you don't have a good way of working together as well. So gimmicks like that can, really win around, but at the same time, you do risk kind of huge flubs like that as well. So, holy crap, man. For 22-8, Taco 6, Fallen 8, TRK 9.
Look, it's one of those situations where I feel like no matter the issues that exist within MIBR as a team, Fur got out of bed today and told himself that he's not losing to a bunch of no-namers. And that's exactly what we get.
He probably said that. Yeah, he probably said that in cruder language, knowing Fur.
I'm not saying it.
Yeah.
He also probably thinks in Portuguese, not English.
That's true.
It was probably something along those lines.
He said Vamo for...
Oop. Hold on, though.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, though.
Oh,
the heal goes unchecked again. Two dirty deagles on top of the opening from Jonji, but KNG already out through the murder hole. He loses his duel because Zeppa saved one of those M4s for the previous round. The bait and switch, the left-right hook. Oh, Fallen, though, is not going down without a fight. He jumps onto the van and gets a second kill. The 1v3 attempt from Fallen's cut down by Zeppa. Another player in the server with plus 20 kills. Chaos take double digits first.
And he kills KNG, could have really just stopped that entire round at its tracks, despite the amazing B hold. First of all, John G scares the lights out of them. They end up having to run through B-Apps to try to chase him down. Don't even consider steal in that specific location. The exact same setup as Taco and KNG, except this time they get the opening kill with the player peeking farther back. Chaos played way too French yesterday, and Zeppa posted a 26-9 scoreline, his best KD since March 2019.
And I agree. I think that last round was actually another good example of it. The other day when they beat Liquid, our North American analyst Maui Snake said that Chaos have had a good structural core on Overpass for quite some time, but that the newest additions of Jonji, he created more entries, and Zeppa adds a new level of clutch factor for Chaos. And those two new additions, in combination with what Chaos had already created in this team, seem to be how they upset versus NA's #1. But will it be enough? In the last round, it definitely was. It gets Chaos back into the well-equipped weaponry as fast as possible.
Quick window boost. Zeppa seems to be aware of it. And he actually wins the duel too. The two juggernauts of the map so far, Zeppa comes out ahead. Even if it's only slightly, this retains window control. For a second, KNG comes out for the trade. Well done. And now Steel has some pressure on him to try to help out his A-side players, but Fallen absolutely eviscerates him with the Galil.
Gets another one too with Vanity falling. Voltage, my man. Gotta swing that cannon. They wanted to lock down the A-site, but he can't find any comfortable peaks to try and hang on to. The threat of a lurk loomed, except the vent's not broken. Oh, but now it is, and so is Jonji. Dead to right. Good night, Voltage. Flick, but can't get away fast enough. TRK, hot on his heels. The hound dog of MIBR finds him, and we're all tied up at 10, just the way I like it.
Yeah, nice job playing the trade game. They did that smartly, because Fur, even though he lost his duel, knew Zeppa was low. And I was going to say, Alicia's talked about this position in jungle, where he said it's one of the most difficult and annoying spots to play as a CT, because you're the only one that isn't connected to another CT on the site. You can be attacked from window and connector. Your other teammates are in CT or under balcony or something. They can't help you. You're the guy left side site alone, and then the B site players are playing together as well. So you're the only one that's left alone, and if KNG goes up for another 50-50 and our man is already low, then he has a good chance of actually winning that duel. So once they take that, also the second duel on Cat was with Fallen and somebody else to take attention away from Fallen, and that allowed him to get that frag. So in general, just really smart moves there made by MIBR.
This time Fur's going to get back towards the murder hole. Again, it's not broken, but that creates a false sense of confidence for the rotates. You saw Vanity just sprinting by. He was out for a leisurely stroll, and he got gunned down, poor guy. We move past the pistols for Chaos. Despite MIBR getting back into the lead, a one-round deficit for Chaos to try and play off of, but this is a curious situation. MIBR call their final pause.
Yeah, they're going to see what they need to do. I mean, I feel like they have a variety of options. Not like they're completely out of options now. That's why they're calling a pause. I think they have a number of things that could work. We got a fun fact. Which lineup is it anyway? Chaos have lost 6 different players in 2020 already, and had 2 stand-ins that are no longer with them also. Yeah, I think that total for 8 kind of almost roster changes if you count the stand-ins, which is nuts. But it looks like they're kind of happy about it. This team looks good, so I don't really see an issue. John G coming through, that strength that kind of DMB dissipated. John G comes out, that strengthens Chaos. That helps out a lot. They retain Zeppa. I think they did okay, made it out okay. They've been through a lot, they made it out okay. I don't really care what the other rosters look like.
Yeah, this is the one we got.
Yeah. I mean, I would care if they sucked, but these guys are actually doing really well.
Hanging in with the big boys of MIBR. I mean, they're getting their faces kind of pounded by Fur, but if they can contain that issue in the following few rounds, then there's no reason to not believe that Chaos can still contest this. I like the timing on the ramp setup. They get Vanity into position, but oh man, a little hesitation. He's going to eat that flash fully. TRK and Fur getting the first kill, and Zeppa's pinned into the corner, so that entry works well. Voltage, a single kill from Ticket. Just the one for now. Utility usage from MIBR is on fire. This is the double op towards Ticket, though, dropping the bomb and the left-right. Voltage in with another steal. Hot flick upwards, drops it just to KNG 1v3. No bomb nearby in 30 seconds. Still a chance. Don't you dare write him off. The double op, peeking at the same time, but ooh, it's close because he had still found a way, despite their best efforts, to separate the 1v1s. Almost gets that headshot, but we are still tied from 10-10 to 11-11. No way to call this match.
Yeah, it's a huge misplay here, obviously, on the bomb plant. Don't even know how TRK felt safe. There was Fur on top of triple, but the angle is not as deep as TRK planting. If there's someone in CT opping, it's not like they're going to need to swing wide to kill you. So someone told them to plant the bomb there. It's their fault. If he planted there because he thought it was safe, it was his fault. But it's a huge misplay on trying to plant the bomb. Maybe if he was going to fake and they were going to try to kill the Opera, that maybe makes more sense, but yeah. And then, of course, Steel hits that nasty flick. What the hell was that?
Just Steel things. Steel, one of those players who could be having the worst map of his career, and yet he still can turn around to ace.
John G only has a 5-7.
Facts.
Why? They saved 2 guns last round. They saved 2 ops and got money to buy.
Doing a good job of dodging all the threats that have been thrown his way. He does have Steel as well to try and peer over his shoulder. Smoke begins to fade. Molly goes past. John G goes in. Gets barrel stuffed by the AK close. Understandably so. Steel peeks into 2, and now Zeppa swings out. He manages the M4 for a single frag, but he's going to get pushed by so many members of MIBR. Voltage is up back into the mix, and we have ourselves a 2v2. 10 seconds. Bomb needs to get over, and it will. That's actually the CT smoke that really ensures the safety. Fur peeking down back door, opens a route through window, and we already have Voltage out playing around the side. He gets the closer, and now all on Fur. 25-11, looking for the 2 kills to close this. A 2 versus 3 from Chaos that has gotten the T's down to just 1, and his back is exposed to Voltage, creeping closer and closer. Fur with the no-scope, but Vanity trades, and Chaos are back in the lead.
Yeah, they closed it off. A nice temp there by Fur. Can't blame him for trying to delay for time or taking an early peek. You really needed Taco to try to get a kill to help him out there. Yeah, his position was the most obvious, or it was the most limited because of the bomb plant just going down so recently and the fact that he had an op. But he got into a good spot, and Taco played around the smoke correctly in a sense, but peeking, showing his shoulder, and then not shooting, and then getting spotted is where things got a bit weird. And of course, a very decent shot there from Voltage, just like shoot him, even though it was almost directly on. It was still kind of through the cover of smoke. And that's going to be a pause called for Chaos. Actually, can't believe they won because that B setup in the apartments didn't work out so hot. Jonji went in first. Steel dropped the shot. Jonji got killed for free. Steel fell back to the site. Steel was lucky to get Fallen coming around Cat. But since he got Fallen, who was opping, it made it easy for Zeppa to come in to get a kill. And they continually traded out 1-for-1. And so that just speaks to how like mechanically sharp Chaos are. So a lot of teams would just fall at each of one of those steps and end up losing with 4 players up still on the other team.
And I think that's a good showing of Zeppa's lack of hesitation in that last round.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't stutter step on the back door like some lesser experienced players can do when they're playing versus tough opponents. No hesitation, sprints in, but I put him in the spotlight, and this round he gets flushed out, as does Steel. Chaos, not like this. Just versus the pistols, they can't manage the A site, so that bomb's certainly going to be planned. Nope.
Oh my God! Again,
Vanity.
he's gotten killed 3 times putting the bomb down there.
Yep.
Twice through the smoke.
Not looking pretty. Somebody else comes in to get the job done, and Jonji's not able to hold him on the bomb site. So now we've got a T inside of the Palace, 1 up on Tetris, and the 3rd inside of Connector. Fallen, shaving more HP from Vanity, who has the 2 frags of this round for Chaos so far, but now he's taken out of this one. Jonji's able to trade down into Connector, and Fallen from the tippity top of the staircase is keeping up the pressure. Jonji trying to sprint over with the bomb so far gone. It's all over. Just the pistols for MIBR, and they tie it again.
Yeah, nice moves there from Fallen, and the site got cracked wide open. Steel dropped the spray with the FAMAS from Triple, and his teammate, I don't know if he got 1-degged or something, but things get a lot more scary being a Triple. You'd rather be in CT spawn if your teammate dies, especially versus all the pistols that can swarm you, and he couldn't even get the 1, so... Teenage sensation. Zeppa was just 14 when Steel played at a major for iBuyPower. Wow, still in diapers while Steel was at a major.
That might have just been you.
Oh. This is such a fantastic game of Counter-Strike that we're watching. So glad to be here talking about it.
Of course. Day 4 of 12 here in the group stage of DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. 1 North American BO3 a day. What a digestible amount of NACS. Anything more than that, we start maybe losing our minds at time. It's going to be a very interesting month to see who can start to cement themselves as the heel clippers of North America. Chaos took a big name in Team Liquid. Team Liquid claiming that they beat themselves. But I don't think that's how it works.
Love hearing the sound of a Molotov extinguished by a smoke. It's refreshing, like dropping into a giant vat of Monster Energy.
What are your 3 favorite Counter-Strike sounds?
USP Gush. Do it. Zeus. And Op.
Oh, that was the stretch one.
That was a hard one. I honestly phoned it in. I don't
like
even
your
think
answers, though.
that is my, yeah, that was, I definitely top 2 are correct, but I'm not sure the
I
third
like
one is.
nade pegs is always a fun one. When you see somebody jumping through the sky and you just hear the thinnest little thip as they completely come to a halt in midair.
Oh, yeah, a rarer sound too.
Of course, a real treat.
True.
Smoke grenades to fall suit over here on jungle. We were just, of course, talking through the anti-eco here. Chaos hadn't until now given us much to talk about, but hell, Jonji. Nice deagle. Man, advantage up for the CTs, so they've got little to lose. Why not take it? Why not push the envelope here on the A-bomb site? Jonji's just crab walking into the site. He will be found out by Taco and Fallen simultaneous kills. So 3 of the 4 remaining members there for Chaos all cut down empty-handed. It was really just the Hadig from Jonji. Steal. Come on. Gets it over the line in the end, but now he's going to get gunned down. So MIBR back in the lead. We had the tied game at 10, the tie at 11 and 12, and now MIBR first to 13 as we still have Chaos trying to stomach a half buy here. It looks like they may let MIBR slip to 14.
It is very tight. You're definitely talking sense. And Zeppa, you know, he's not fragging out in the last few rounds. Fur, however, has been maintaining and like continually putting on kills in the second half. So that does not bode well for Chaos. On top of KNG coming up from 13 in the first half, I believe, to now the 23 that he has. These 2 members of MIBR are doing a whole lot. What a flick there on the Zeus. And, oh, it's actually MIBR. I didn't even realize it's another eco that they get to basically farm up, giving Chaos 1, if not 2 tries at a full buy here before this game is over.
Voltage kind of lost inside of the smoke, comes out, and no matter which direction he decides to charge, there was players lying in wait. So, poor guy's down for the count. MIBR, 2-round lead, sitting on 14. Vanity looking good with the old Zeus.
You know, I didn't.
Poseidon.
When they did go for the close A ramp setup, some of the adjustments for Chaos were just fine. I think when they did go for the close A ramp setup, I would have said the only thing is that they needed to be more clear about who was playing anti-flash and how close they were pressed up, because that flash should not have dismantled that setup, considering that's exactly what they expected to come when they were standing there. So maybe something they could consider, because there might still be more A takes on the horizon. Definitely didn't seem like a bad thing to try to do as an adjustment. For the meantime, it's out to mid here for MIBR. Pressing forward their kind of economic advantage with utility and everything. And a smoke goes down into the bottom of connector. That was a cool one.
Officially, of course, Fur on his 30 frags now. KNG could also get there. There is still time. He's able to round into the jungle, and he's denied Zeppa just a single kill, although players were starting to line up for him. Vanity, man, just gets hard knocked by Fallen. 1-punch knockout power from the long-standing leader of Brazilian Counter-Strike. Jonji's got a little bit of footwork over here towards ramp, but it's really that flank my eyes fall onto. Steal, trying to find the timing, but his teammates keep dying before he can get into position. Now that's a big one, because Taco turned his back, and I see Chaos still on the cusp of this bomb site. They have the smoke and the flashbang to try and cover it, but the problem is it's planted for connectors, so they're really gonna have to stretch. Steal goes to the top of the stairs, and Voltage gets 1 kill, but Fallen has had enough. MIBR 15-12.
Yeah, and now Fallen encroaches past the 20 mark, and he shows up, and we see MIBR take a significant lead at this point. And he is so good in these late round situations, these post-plant situations. He is getting some of the last remaining kills, icing out the opposing team, not playing too passively, and playing very smart but aggressively at the same time, and making this very difficult for Chaos to deal with.
Smokes and nades and flames aplenty here at the top of middle. I like that Chaos are coming out of the gates, potentially for the last time on Mirage. Real aggressive. Why? So that they can leave Zeppa at the top. No, okay, if he gets an MP9 kill on anybody underpass, it's too long range for my liking. Too late. He puts out the fire, but a frag follows suit. I'll shave his head.
He's like human bait right now, but that means his team needs to be ready to take something else. Okay, he's actually got away. Slippery Zeppa.
It does call Steel closer, though. Now he's playing up on Catwalk, and he's very much alone.
Oh, he doesn't want this anymore.
Ouch.
Oof.
Down for free.
He quickly realized he wasn't catching anyone off guard after a few moments there.
There it is, though. Zeppa with 1. He's looking at a duel versus the underpass, but that's where Fur comes out from. Jonji, 12. Hell, no way. I was going to say only 12 kills in it. Still good for the 1. Voltage, my man, 12 and 20. Scouts up, misses his shot, and he falls to 15 HP, so there's no way that MIBR are going to drop this one. Fur, with a lights-out performance, 33 kills at the end of that game. KNG not far behind him, and as you said, even Fallen steps up to that third piece. So I think that if Fur doesn't come out as quickly as he did in such convincing fashion, then there's a world where Zeppa is too much to handle like he was versus Liquid, because the newest player of Chaos still managed 23 frags despite losing this game 16-12. Mohan, it's Mirage down and it's Dust 2 up next. We'll see you guys and the analysts after the break.